You say Uber, he says goober. So your company, Flywheel,
Yes.
makes an app that helps people book a taxi quick. Does that sound about right?
That's exactly
So
right.
basically, you're like the opposite of Uber, I
That's
think.
exactly right.
And so tell me about that.
So we partner with the licensed taxi cab industry to develop the Flywheel mobile app, where we can download the app from the iOS store or Google Play. But the app's actually just the tip of the iceberg. There's a huge backend that supports that. So what we actually do is we power taxis with a software-defined platform. So a lot of great companies were here today at the Nexenta conference talk about a software-defined platform that they deliver over bare metal hardware. In our case, we go to these taxi drivers and we give them our software that's deployed over any Android phone you can buy at Best Buy. That software-defined platform gets rid of everything in a taxi.
Right.
So just like Tarkin's company and Nexenta and all these great companies here get rid of the physical infrastructure, we get rid of all that clunky infrastructure that you see in taxis.
So it brings sort of the coolness and functionality that Uber brought.
That's right.
But to the
To the
not
taxi
so
industry.
cool, clunky
That's
taxi
exactly
industry.
Right. That's exactly
So
right.
things like, so I'm a big Uber user, right? So things like the fact that I can know when my taxi's going to be here. What about estimating fares and things like that?
Yeah. So we call it goober. So he calls it Uber. So
call it Gruber?
we call it goober. So we can do the exact same thing, fare estimation, all these types of things.
Right.
However, what we don't do is we don't search price.
Oh, you don't search price, right?
We're in San Francisco today. There's 1,800 taxis in San
Yeah.
Francisco. I am, as president of the company, I don't need to incentivize taxi drivers to get off their couch during rush hour to go on the road.
Right.
They're on the road already.
Right.
So I don't need to search price.
Right.
So ironically enough, when times when you actually need a taxi in rush hour and Uber surging, you'll see that same constant price from taxis.
Right, and that's a big thing as an Uber user, right? I mean, this morning, I had no idea about your app. So see, this is we'll have to download your app and put it out there. This morning we're sitting there on our couch, and said, hey, let's get a thing, and the Uber came back with a 3.6. Surge pricing, right? And I actually understand the reasoning behind the surge pricing and all of that, and I'm okay with that. But 3.6, I was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Like it's going to cost me $50 to get here instead of $12. And see if you can make that a little louder. Thank you. But that is interesting that and I do know that the taxis are always the same price, but it's always been the difficulty of how do I get a taxi with and the whole thing of there's 1,900 taxi companies, right? And I got to go call, and I don't know which ones are
That's
good.
exactly right.
What about the concept of rating? Is there anything?
Yeah, same
there?
thing. We have driver ratings.
Okay.
So you raise a very good point. So I like to make this analogy because we're here at an enterprise software conference. Is just like Nexenta and these companies have actually taken the vendors out of the equation. In our case, like you just said, the fleet we take out of the equation.
Right.
So now you don't need to worry about the fleet.
Right.
You just open the Flywheel mobile app and we pool all these resources to get to you very quickly.
Right. And I don't know much about the taxi industry.
Yeah.
Are they typically independent contractors
That's
or are
right.
they employed? They are.
They are.
Okay. So they can drive for Yellow Cab
That's
and
right.
also have your app, and they're not violating any
That's
contract
correct.
or anything?
That's correct.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
So and then how does the money flow? Is it like goober?
The taxi industry is pretty interesting. So the fleet is just a rent-a-car. So they get a lease fee per day, a large lease fee, and that gives the independent contractors the right to drive a taxi. We get paid, if that's your question, on a percentage of the fare.
Okay.
Because we originate the ride.
But how does the driver get paid?
The driver gets a percentage of the fare. So he gets all the fare that goes to him, and his costs are credit card processing and a lease fee that he pays to the fleet.
But the money flow, does the revenue go to you and then to the taxi company?
That's correct.
Okay.
So the money flow comes to us, and we take our percentage out of it, and we get it to the drivers the very next day.
Gotcha. Nice.
So,
very different model.
It's a very different model. Look, as an investor, the transportation industry, the opportunity that's presented has taken us all off guard. It's a huge opportunity. That little known company is worth $50 billion right now. So ultimately, when we look at the world as president of Flywheel, is I think all these services will be around. The key is we don't think taxis are going away. We think it's a very stable supply force. So the key is providing these guys technology to compete in today's marketplace.
Nice.
We don't necessarily need to beat these other types of ride shares. We just need to provide an on-par experience, in our view.
So that was a fascinating interview. I knew nothing about this app. I've already installed it. I'm going to try it out. I've been an Uber fan. It's going to be interesting. We'll see. All right. I don't know. Maybe we'll do another interview with them later. Check out our other videos. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.